All right. Now we have another one. Is this going to be an ellipse or a hyperbola, or a parabola, or a circle? How do we figure that out? Well, look at this. Look at this. We have an x squared and a y squared. That means it cannot be a parabola, right? So that means it's going to be a circle, an ellipse, or a hyperbola. Which two would you think it is? Yeah, it's got to be the ellipse or, yeah, circle. How come it cannot be the parabola? Yeah, because of plus right here. If that said minus, because one of these would have to be negative in order for it to be a hyperbola. If that said minus, then we know it would be a hyperbola. But because it says plus, we know that it's either a circle or an ellipse. Now, there's a reason why we know it's an ellipse just by looking at this. And that's because they have different coefficients. This one has a 1, this one has a 4. And I'm going to show you guys why right now. So it's not the circle, it's an ellipse. So let's see. An ellipse would look like this. It would be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals 1. And they're fractions. We just don't know if the a squared is underneath the x or if the a squared is underneath the y. But we know that one of these can switch like that. So just like the parabola that we did earlier, we need to have two perfect squares so that we can write them like this. So over here, what we're going to do is we're going to group all the like terms together, and we're going to throw this constant to the other side. So we have x squared plus 6x, and I'm going to put my plus blank right here, and I'm going to do parentheses just to kind of help us visually, plus the 4y squared minus 8y, and then my plus blank, put my parentheses, and then the other side is going to have my minus 9. Okay, so I just grouped all of them together. And this one is ready to be completed. This one is not. Do you guys remember why this one is not? Can't have that 4 right there. Can't have a 4 in front of the y squared. It has to have a positive 1 like that one. So I'm going to have to take that 4 out. So I take the 4 out. Shall I rewrite it? Yes, you should. Okay, so I have x squared plus 6x plus blank. Put my parentheses. Plus, and I take the 4 out. 4, and then I have my parentheses plus blank right there, and I get y squared minus, what is that, 2y. Other side. Now I added my plus blanks to the left side. I didn't add my plus blanks to the other side yet. I have plus blank right here for the x, and then for the next one I have plus 4 times blank. Now why am I multiplying the 4 times that blank? Because that's what's happened to that blank right there. He's getting multiplied by 4. Ah, blankety blank. All right, let's do this. What do I have to add to this one to make him complete?
9.
I have to add a 9. What do I have to add to this one to make him complete? I must add uno. Okay, so that means I put a 9 right here. I put a uno right there. And then I do my thing. What's your thing? Don't say that. Okay, x plus 3 squared. Factoring stuff. That's my thing. And then I have y minus 1. Factoring is not cool. You can't say that. All right, 9 and negative 9, they cancel out, and I'm left with a 4 on that side. All right, we're getting somewhere. We're actually kind of looking like this guy right here, except we don't have a 1. So what do I do to this 4? Divide by 4. Some of you guys are like, oh, I know what we're doing here. You divide everything by 4, you get x plus 3 squared over 4, plus, look at this. The 4's cancel out. Oh my goodness, what does that mean? That means there's a 1 underneath it, and we don't need to write it because there's a 1 underneath it. So this is standard form right here. How would this look as a graph? I don't know. That was the question I had in my head, though. How did you know that? Where's my center? What's my HK?
At negative 3, 1.
Ah, you guys did it right this time. You did the opposites. Negative 3, 1. And so I go to negative 3 and I go up 1. There's my center. That's my HK. Now, you guys don't even have to like decide if it's a horizontal or if it's a vertical ellipse because it kind of just tells you. What's the square root of 4 right here? It is 2. And what you're going to do is you're going to count out from the center 2 spaces. But am I going to count out left and right or up and down?
Up and
down. Left and right.
Oh, look, it's underneath the X. And so I count left and right. So I count left 2 and right 2. I mean, right 2 then left 2. So this is a vertex and this is a vertex. Oh, this is your major axis right here, guys. What's the length of my major axis right here? 4. Now here it just happens to equal this. It doesn't always do that. It's just because the distance is 2 right here. All right, but now I have to count up and down to find my covertices. How do I know how many spaces to count? Well, look back at your y. There's a 1 underneath it. What's the square root of that? Yeah, so you just count up 1, count down 1. So we got our covertices. Oh, snap. Now, just because we're graphing it, we also need to have our foci. And to find our foci, we have to know this formula. You guys remember the formula? A squared minus b squared equals c squared. What's my a squared? I'm pointing at it. 4. What's my b squared? Uno. So my c squared equals 3. That means my c equals radical plus or minus 3. All right, so that means, let's see. Radical 3 is about 1 point something something something. So that means I'm going to count 1 and a little bit to put my focus point, and 1 and a little bit to put my focus point right there. And so there you have it. Standard form, graph, and I got my focus labeled, my centered, my vertice. I also need to label my covertice. Done.